Welcome back everyone to the IT blog, Cybersecurity News. Today we're going to discuss SpiceJet. Who's SpiceJet? SpiceJet is the second largest airline in India. And so they had 460 flights per day in 2019 and around 76 aircrafts. So late May 2022, the CEO has confirmed, or SpiceJet essentially spokesman confirmed that they had an attempted ransomware attack and that their IT team was able to recover and maintain normal operations. However, that wasn't felt on the ground. So when SpiceJet was able to say that, hey, we were attempted attack, where everything's back to normal, people took to Twitter, responded and say, no, we were still stranded. What does stranded mean? Examples: people can't board flights. They're stuck inside of the airport. People are unable to get off their plane, or they're stuck inside their plane just waiting to leave for a few hours actually. And so quickly, the CEO, actual CEO of SpiceJet, took to Twitter, or yeah, I believe it was Twitter, and said, "Hey, the IT team was able to recover. However, operations led a cascading effect. Because of that, uh, people are still feeling it on the day to day, trying to take flights, trying to check in to boards and stuff like that. Even a few days after the attack, folks are still unable to get into certain sites to purchase like just air flights. You just couldn't leave anywhere. Essentially, you're grounded if you were only can fly SpiceJet. So their systems were still not fully functioning, and this kind of highlights a little bit on disaster recovery and business continuity. So the IT team was able to say we restored systems back to normal, but their business, SpiceJet, is unable to operate normally, even during the attack. And that's what really you can't. This was difficult with cybersecurity. You can't just say, from a technical perspective, things are fine, but from an operational perspective, business isn't as usual. Even if, and the business continuity plan really isn't like to get everything exactly how it was. It's just to keep going to reduce impact on the customers. And this is what happened here. Business continuity plan failed, but disaster recovery succeeded. And so I wanted to quickly just highlight here on that, because that piece really is the main topic of discussion that people are really avoiding here. Is that if they had a more clear business continuity plan and just conversations between IT teams, cybersecurity team, and operations, a lot of this would have been much minimal because their tech seems to be good. So my suggestion really is to imply, like, just to put in a cybersecurity team that can really enforce business continuity and work with operations to like kind of guide them through how to continue working while everything's kind of just like the fire's being put out. So I wanted to also touch on reputation here because the consequences here are pretty big. I discussed it more in my blog, but they had a recent like ethical attack, ethical hacker or researcher essentially was able to compromise their database and gather all of their customers' information. So, with that being said, a few like I it's not much long ago. I think it was under a year. This attack occurred now. So I think it was back in 2020 that they were able to somebody compromise their databases. So me comparing myself like to someone in India who would fly SpiceJet, I would be flying Spirit. And so Spirit acted this way, and I just found out their databases were unencrypted, unsecured, and some researcher was able to identify it and provide that information to them. SpiceJet didn't really respond and show how, like, okay, we have implemented measures, just kind of like a vague blanket statement saying yes, we're putting like effort into. I did like we hear you, we applied countermeasures, we're good. And then here try to sweep it under the rug, and then I'm trying to fly out and trying to meet my family, friends, whoever, and I'm flying Spirit, and this happened to them. Probably will never fly Spirit again. So that's just me. And you folks comment down below on what you think about that. But for me, SpiceJet is not really responding well. They're just trying to say everything's fine, but the customers not feeling that on the ground. So there is some type of disconnect definitely from technical perspective, which is it seems like the tech is fine. If they had an attempt, which I don't think it's an attempt, I think they got compromised and they were able to restore their systems. Things like backup recovery, clear out, wipe out. They had a good segregation within their systems, either on the cloud or locally, and they were able to just kind of contain the attack, swap out stuff, and we're good. But and then the only thing that did fail was the business continuity piece, where they're unable to continue business during the attack, or at least unable to properly reduce the effect of the customer. And so SpiceJet kind of jumped the gun by saying everything's fine. It's more of, hey, we were compromised. We're working on a recovery. You folks, are probably gonna feel it on trying to board flights and all these other things. Be patient with us. We're trying to ensure your safety, right? Something like that. Being more open, I think people would definitely respond better. Not just kind of hiding the fact that you were compromised and you're trying to put out a fire. So my take on this is it was a tampering and a denial of service attack. Tampering mean modifying the data so that way folks unable to like board flight confirm that you're this person with this ticket can board this flight. And denial of service, where in the blog I discussed a little bit more detail regarding sites subsites of their main SpiceJet site. They're unable to be reached, things like checking in, buying a ticket. So that's denial of service. So those two combination of things were like the focus here. And the CEO and SpiceJet spokesman keeps mentioning IT teams. They should really, and it will increase my confidence if they had a dedicated cybersecurity team. So if you have a dedicated cybersecurity team, because I'm working cybersecurity now, and I've worked for years in tech, so in IT teams really don't know at all about security, except for the basic principles on how to operationally secure it in a within their scope. But security really is high level operational, and it's really just it's like safety. So you can't have a just a standard CIO, or not even that, just like administrator, be the one who kind of enforces that policies to ensure how to recover and secure the systems. They really need to work with a cybersecurity professional to kind of think in a security way, and how where the systems need to be looked at. Because if this is the type of attack, we need to look at these areas, and then we're confident recovery. If you just keep referencing IT teams, that just kind of shows how much SpiceJet does not invest in their security practices, even though they were able to recover real quickly, which is kind of interesting. And I'm wondering if they're just hiding a lot of what was affected. Would not be surprised if more information comes out of that in the next couple of months on the consequences of what occurred today. So that's my quick retake, like overview of what I wrote on my blog. Link down in the description. Please like, share, and subscribe, and then comment up below. Like, will you fly SpiceJet if you're trying to go to India? So let me know what you think. Really appreciate it. Peace.